did address the Blake Lively interview. He basically made a joke about it.
And he said the comment section on the Blake Lively interview.
Blake Lively is in the middle of a full-blown public meltdown after Seth Meyers exposed her shady behavior live on air.
Out is going to be a book, and the book's called A Polite Discourse About the News of the Day.
What looked like a casual post-scandal sit-down was anything but. Insiders say it was Blake who begged to be on the show, desperate to clean up the mess. She even requested the comments be turned off to avoid backlash. But Seth, in full savage mode, broke that little secret live, violating the carefully scripted image she tried to present.
You tell this whole thing is prearranged.
Seth Meyers, the polished late-night host known for slicing through spin, had Blake Lively across from him. But for anyone following the months-long circus of lawsuits and scandal involving Justin Baldoni, this appearance wasn't just surprising, it reeked of damage control.
Been a little over a week since Blake Lively went on Seth Meyers, and the backlash was humongous.
Blake's public image had been tanking for nearly a year. Then suddenly, she lands a solo appearance on Seth's show? This wasn't just some cute red carpet interview. This was strategic, calculated, and far from organic.
She was going on his show pretending like, oh, I'm here on the victim, I'm talking for all victims, and, you know, it's been a rough year, and blah, blah, blah. She was sitting there in a princess dress, and everyone was like, why are you giving her a platform?
Viewers knew something was off the moment the interview aired. Seth, who's usually fearless about awkward truths, didn't ask a single tough question. No mention of defamation claims. No discussion of her $400 million legal war. Not even a whisper of Justin Baldoni, the man at the center of it all.
Seth Meyers apparently thinks it's really funny all the backlash that he received after having Blake Lively on his show.
It was like the scandal didn't exist. Instead, the segment leaned into light parenting stories, harmless anecdotes, and easy laughs. It felt rehearsed. Not like an interview, but like a commercial break disguised as conversation.
I'm sure he put her on his show because he wanted views, as simple as that, and he wanted to be the first host who had Blake Lively on as a guest since this scandal started, unfolding.
And according to multiple sources, that might be exactly what it was. Insiders say Blake's team, not NBC, pitched the appearance. They arranged the terms, controlled the tone, and set the stage. She didn't show up to be questioned, she showed up to spin. To rewrite the narrative on her own terms.
Okay, so Seth Meyers is trying to get away with this by blaming it on someone else, that they shut down the comment section.
The timing wasn't random. Blake had been facing growing backlash for months, ever since Justin Baldoni's legal team brought forward serious allegations and started subpoenaing evidence. That's when the cracks in her carefully curated public image began to show.
Yeah, so he didn't address the fact that there were controversies. He's just like making a joke about it. Same kind of way that Ryan Reynolds would do, I guess, and what he did at SNL, just like joking about it.
She was accused of manipulating insiders, influencing casting decisions, and possibly even helping launch coordinated smear campaigns. And instead of addressing any of it head-on, she went straight to late-night TV, trying to rewrite the story. Before it got worse. A soft reset. But the audience didn't react how she hoped. Almost immediately, viewers rushed to the YouTube upload of the interview, only to find something strange.
If these allegations, which are serious allegations of SH, why would people just keep making jokes about it?
The comment section was locked. And that's when the real explosion began. Fans took to social media, calling it censorship, calling it a cover-up, demanding answers. Seth Meyers, usually known for letting the audience speak freely, was now silencing the most controversial guest he'd had in months. It didn't take long for people to connect the dots. Seth wasn't being cautious. He was following orders.
He closed the comment section on that video, which only has about 255,000 views, which is pretty low.
Yes, you heard that right. A few days later, Seth finally addressed the locked comments, claiming a technician had spilled coffee on a keyboard, and that's why they were disabled. Really, Seth? Was that supposed to be a joke? Everyone saw through it. This wasn't a glitch. This was calculated damage control. But what happened next took things to a whole new level.
In comparison to how much people talked about that video, so people didn't actually go and watch it on his channel. I spoke a lot about the interview, and I also spoke about the backlash that he received.
Just days later, Seth posted a new video, this one about Donald Trump and stock market corruption. Completely unrelated to Blake. And yet, within minutes, it was flooded with thousands of comments, none about Trump, all about Blake. You shut us up there, so we're talking here. We're not done. You gave her a free pass and locked the door behind.
Came up with this long story on how one of his technicians on the show or something like that had an accident, spilled some coffee on the keyboard.
Sound bad. He goes, you don't understand, I flipped it from on to off. And I said, well, why did it even turn off? And he said, the comment section on the Blake Lively interview.
At that point, Seth couldn't keep up the act. He quietly admitted on Twitter that he didn't have full control over Blake's interview. That her team had shaped the segment. That the comment section was turned off intentionally. And while he didn't say it outright, the truth was obvious. Blake Lively wanted the spotlight without the blowback.
Because since people couldn't comment on the actual video, everyone started commenting on other videos, and it exploded on all his social media platforms.
This was the moment people really started seeing through the PR illusion. For a year, Blake Lively had positioned herself as the silenced one, mistreated, targeted by powerful men. But suddenly, she's dictating the terms of a major network. Talk show appearance? In the middle of an active lawsuit scandal, she wasn't silenced, she was in control. Total control. And while she spoke, the audience was literally muted. The irony didn't go unnoticed.
I don't think this was a great idea.
What made it worse was the hypocrisy. Fans began comparing the interview to her past statements, especially the speech she gave on that very show, about bravery, using your voice, and helping other women speak out. But behind the scenes, the reality was different. Real survivors don't buy airtime. They don't script interviews. They don't get to shut down comment sections. But Blake did. And in trying to erase the backlash, she only made it louder.
It's not, she did that for the photo op outside, it feels like, more than for the interview inside.
What Blake wanted was a clean slate. What she got was more chaos. And this time, it wasn't because of legal filings or leaked emails, it was because people saw through her. They saw the performance, the missing questions, the forced applause. It didn't feel like redemption. It felt like manipulation. And it backfired.
That makes a joke about it.
Put his gin in.
Director put his gin in.
Do you have to go home and tell Ryan, like, I have
No,
bad news?
it was like, baby, I have something to tell you. We're going to talk about it here, and we're going to forget it ever happened.
Gotcha.
Okay? No.
Seth did the better joke, and then Blake was like, "I'm already no." The whole thing is just starts awkward out the gate, and shows just so admits to how controlling this couple actually is.
Blake Lively's carefully rehearsed sit-down with Seth Meyers was meant to be a turning point, a polished rebrand, dressed up as vulnerability. But it exposed something deeper. Critics like Shushy Flo and Andy Seener quickly called it out. The paradox of playing the silenced victim while pulling the strings behind the entire production.
This whole thing is prearranged, and then she can't wait. She sort of lets Seth know, okay, come on, let's get to it.
The interview was marketed as raw and honest. But sources have now confirmed that Blake's team had full editorial oversight, controlling everything from the topic list to the segment's length. According to a tweet by producer Daniel Kraus. On March 29, 2025, the segment was pre-pitched with strict boundaries, and not a single off-script question was allowed.
But then she's like, it's like I have to pretend to go into Disneyland every day. Oh, it's such a chore for me. It is so hard. It is so hard for me, people. Oh, will you please give me more empathy? Because it's so hard being Blake Lively right now, having to go to my nannies and everybody and all these trips where clearly my kids aren't here.
Midway through the broadcast, Blake shifted into emotional gear. She spoke about the pain of being silenced, the responsibility of speaking up for women and girls who can't, and called 2024 the most traumatizing year of her life.
Can't go outside. You're so bothered by it. You can't leave the house, or the kids are affected. It's all I'm getting such mixed messages from all this.
But the contradiction couldn't have been clearer. Blake wasn't being silenced, she was monopolizing one of the last remaining legacy talk show platforms. Her narrative was pre-approved, tightly controlled, and aired with zero audience accountability. No questions were allowed. And within just 2 hours of the episode going live, the YouTube comments were locked, confirmed by it in Bubla Team's post on X at 2:04 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
From these appearances, they're telling me anything. You're not suffering any actual work damages. Working just fine for you. People are still asking for your autograph, showing up at premieres. You're just forcing it down our throat. We're seeing it everywhere. So hard to see what you're really suffering through.
Not everyone stayed quiet. Shushy Flo, who was name-dropped in Blake's own legal filings and is part of the case's discovery process, released a 15-minute breakdown on her YouTube channel Flossom Talk on March 30th, titled Blake Lively hijacked Seth Meyers, and it's so obvious. In the video, she points out a particularly telling moment. The camera cuts to audience applause precisely as Blake says, "I just want the world to be safer for women and girls."
You mentioned you had an intense year. I'm maybe not as totally informed about it as other people.
Now, and watching this again, I love how he said that, because that to me is his excuse for why he's not pressing. I'm not as educated on it. And you gotta be clear, this isn't 60 Minutes or some hard-hitting news show.
Shashi didn't hold back. She explained that the applause felt staged, not spontaneous. Anyone who's been to a taping knows, she said, when the big applaud sign flashes, you clap, or you get stared at. She then zeroed in on Blake's dramatic closing words, "It's the truth."
You know, I am now officially a part of the lawsuit. I'm in the subpoena that Blake Lively's team sent to Wayfair and Justin Baldoni's team.
That phrase, seemingly tossed in for impact, became a red flag. Shashi posed the obvious question, if what you're saying is true, why do you need to declare it? Andy Senior echoed the same sentiment on Popcorn Planet in his same night segment. Titled, "Seth Let Blake Sell a Script, and It Bombed." Andy added, "Nobody confident in their truth ends the segment with a disclaimer." He also pointed out Blake's tearless sobs, rapid tone shifts, and sudden smiles, likening the moment more to an Oscar reel than real emotion.